And today we are very happy to have with us Ramblin' Dan Stevens and Blunt White. You know, as we enter the second year of Live Lunch Break, Peter and I, my colleague and video partner Peter over here, been talking about ways to always move forward, improve everything. We're thinking this is a homey little set. We like it, it's comfy, but we needed to do something to sort of make it more colorful and give it an identity. We don't have to do that anymore because Dan has brought this incredible stage set, and while he probably thinks he's going to take it with him when he goes, I think we're just going to appropriate it, and because it looks pretty sharp, Dan.
Everything's negotiable.
Everything's negotiable.
We'll talk about that.
So, if you don't know Ramblin' Dan Stevens, you should. He's been a force on the scene for a long time. Incorporates archival Delta blues and roots music with his own forward twist on it. Blunt is a virtuosic harmonica player, and I think we're in for a real treat today. So go for it, guys.
Thank you. Talking to well me about how you've been running around when I'm playing in another town. Well, I hear the call and I gotta go out on the open road, baby, out on the open road, baby, out on the open road. Fences, baby, well, ain't my style, you know. If that means you're gonna be untrue, well, a man does what a man's gotta do. Well, out on the open road, baby, out on the open road, out on the open road, baby, out on the open road. Gotta have my highway sign, baby. Baltimore, you just ease my mind. Give me a little bit of that DC, baby. Well, now New York City, yeah, now that's where I'm gonna spend my time. Out on the open road, out on the open road, baby, out on the open road. Thank you very much. It's a small but enthusiastic audience here. But we're happy to be here. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in to the Live Lunch Break. And while I'm changing guitars, I would like to thank these guys at the Day for putting the effort forth to do this. I was telling Rick before the show what a great boost it is to the scene and gives a lot of people exposure maybe wouldn't have had it otherwise. And we get to play on here. That's really the really cool part. But so now I'm going to play a homemade instrument. I made it myself. It's called a cigar box guitar. It's a primitive blues instrument. Muddy Waters used to play one of these things. And this one's made out of a cigar box and 2 sink drains. It's got a flooring nail bent over for the bridge, and a couple carpet tacks here to mark where things are. I'm playing it with a socket wrench. My size is 3/4. Quickly, the way I found out about that was I went to the Sears store. Happens to be the only store these days where you can get an individual socket, I've found out. You know, Walmart and Home Depot, you have to buy 35 sockets to get your size. And so I went to the counter. The fella said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd like to buy a socket wrench." He said, "What size?" And I said, "I don't know, I have to try a few on." So he looked at me funny. I finally found my size, 3/4, but I think I'm losing a little weight, Rick, because this is a little loose on me now. But anyway, we went back to the counter and he told me if I break it, it's guaranteed and I can get a new one for free. But anyway, we're going to do a song here. It was actually recorded by a band from the 60s most people have heard of called Canned Heat. But they used to take songs from the old blues guys back in the 30s and record versions of them. This one in particular was written by the great Tommy Johnson. If you've ever seen that movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, there's a character in the movie named Tommy Johnson, and that's him. Great blues player, old-time guy. He wrote it. It's called On the Road Again. Lonesome road all by myself. Well, I ain't going down that long, lonesome road all by myself. I can't carry you, baby, I carry somebody else. Somebody else. Well, my dear mama left me when I was quite young. Well, my dear mama left me when I was quite young. Well, I said, Lord, have mercy on my wicked son, on the wicked son. Traveled out in the rain and snow. Well, the first time I traveled out in the rain and snow, didn't have no bedroom, not even no place to go. No place to go. Said my dear mama left me when I was quite young. Well, my dear mama left me when I was quite young. Well, now she said, Lord, have mercy on my wicked son, on my wicked son, babe, on my wicked son, yeah, on my wicked son. Well, the first time I traveled out in the rain and snow. Well, the first time I traveled out in the rain and snow, in the rain and snow. Ain't have no bedroom, not even no place to go. No place to go. I'm on the road again. I'm on the road again. I'm on the road again, baby. I'm on the road again.
Cloder Farms. Lose yourself in the possibilities for your home, yard, heart, and soul. Come to Cloder Farms and see what we're building for you. Offshore, out in the Sound, your island getaway awaits. Yes, Block Island beckons. With so much to do and see, a Block Island getaway is now closer than ever. Ride the high-speed Block Island Express from New London on one of 4 daily departures, where an island escape is yours at GoBlockIsland.com. That's GoBlockIsland.com.
So by doing the house and trade-in, you know, that we use that towards our down payment towards this condo, and it made life so much easier for us. It took all the worry out of everything.
We've got with us Ramblin' Dan Stevens and Blunt White. Now, you were explaining in an anecdote between the first 2 songs about the origins of your cigar box 3-string guitar, and what that there's an affection in your voice when you talk about this stuff, and I think partly because there are no more or very few of the original Delta blues roots guys from the South left with us anymore. Right. So for someone like yourself, and over the course of your albums, in addition to your own music, you recreate and put your spin on a lot of these old guys' material. My question is, and I'm rambling, not you. A lot of people are casually dismissive and think, oh, well, the blues is a really rudimentary thing, these old Delta guys. And I don't think what they understand is that whether it's Gary Davis or Mississippi John Hurt or Mance Lipscomb or Robert Johnson or whatever, whichever guy, they all worked in their own tunings. They had their own finger picking styles. You couldn't just walk into a guitar shop and say, teach me to play like. So I guess what I'm saying is you almost have sort of an archaeologist's love for this stuff. This is a hell of a lot of work to get where you are. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, I've always been interested in old things of all types. When I took lessons from a guy in Boston, Cambridge, named Paul Rochelle, who was in the scene in Cambridge in the 70s when all the old blues guys were still living. They were all coming around, so I got to play with all those guys. So I got filled with stories of, you know, Son House and John Lee Hooker and Sonny Terry and Brownie McGhee and all that. And Paul told me one time, people that are interested in this music usually have a love of history. So in that light, I think that may answer your question. But I've always had that. I've always been interested in stories and history, things like that, and the romance of some of the old players that not just blues players, but even you know, other folky kind of players. Sure. That traveling, playing on the road, and you know, that whole kind of lifestyle. Well,
you were a student of Dave Van Ronks, right?
Yes.
So you got a lot of that. And
oh my God!
You did your share of road travel.
Yeah, I've been on the road quite a bit. But yeah, whenever I would take a lesson from Dave, I would always have the tape recorder on, and I would press him for the stories. Yeah. And he would, boy, he loved to tell the stories, so that was great. I learned a lot from him.
I mean, those anecdotes, that history makes the music richer, and you have a greater appreciation
Right.
for what these guys went through. Let me ask you this, because there is such a, when we were off the air, you know, this instrument is in the key of D, open D
Right.
tuning or whatever. As you were learning early on, was it at all frustrating to go, man, this guy's doing this and this guy did that? How hard is it to actually assimilate all that?
It's impossible in one lifetime. I think you just keep chipping away at it, and
Right.
as soon as you learn, you know, kind of you get Lightning Hopkins down. There's Reverend Gary Davis. Boy, you
Right.
could spend forever learning his stuff.
Right.
And people sometimes ask me. I have originals. The first song I played today was
Right.
original. I'll play another one before we leave today. But I have originals. But I am interested in, as you say, I don't know, archiving the past, but it's just like it's classic material. You just want to learn it, you know. And
I just remember, you know, people would say the British invasion stuff, like the Stones or whatever.
Right.
That was a lot of people's first experience with the blues, not realizing those guys were reinterpreting the very people you're. And so many people would say, we try to do this Rolling Stone song and it just doesn't sound right. Well, that's because Richards had his own tuning.
Right.
And it wasn't standard, so that you can assimilate and master all this stuff and then move it into your own stuff, boy, deeply impressive.
Thank you.
Deeply
Thank you very
impressive.
much.
Why don't you guys play a little more for us?
all right, well, we're going to try this song acoustically. Hopefully, it'll come through on the tape. You know, as always happens in a live situation, something funky happens with one of your something guitar, whatever. And that's okay. Hopefully, you can hear this. This is a diddly bow. It's just one string. It's the absolute most primitive instrument I think you can get. I call it the first blues guitar. The old guys used to nail a piece of baling wire on the side of the porch, get some kind of a slide, piece of bone or a pocket knife. You can make a lot of music with just one string. Now this is improved with the addition of an Altoids tin, which I don't think they had in old Deltas days. We'll have to do a little more research on that. So I'm going to try to play this. Normally it's amplified, but I guess that's not going to happen. So that's all right. We'll just do it. Now this is a Robert Johnson song that kind of adapted to the diddly bow. It's on my latest record. It's called Traveling Riverside. Well, if your man get personal, baby, wants you to have your fun. Well, if your man get personal, baby, wants you to have your fun. Well, now come on back to Fry's Point, mama, barrel house all night long. Well, I got women in Vicksburg, now clean on into Tennessee. Well, I got women in Vicksburg, now clean on into Tennessee. Well, now them Fried Point mama, they hops all over me. Well, I'm going down to Rosedale, take my rider by my side. Well, I'm going down to Rosedale, take my rider by my side. Well, we can still bear hot, baby, well, now down by the riverside. Well, we can still bear hot, baby, down by the riverside. Woo.
So that's the diddly bow. Hope you could hear it okay. I'm going to play another one on my big old Gibson J200. This is the same guitar that Gary Davis used to play, and Elvis had one of these. They call it the king of the Gibsons. I don't know if it's true, but somebody told me they got the number J200. There's a J45, and this is a J200. And somebody told me that's how much it cost, you know, $200. But I don't know if that's true. This one was more than that. But, yeah. So, Rick, you were mentioning Dave Van Ronk. Learned this arrangement from Dave. It's an arrangement of an old Bessie Smith song. Makes no difference what I say, no difference what I do. People, they always criticize me, but I'm gonna do just what I want to anyway. No matter how much they all despise me. Well, if I take a notion to jump into the ocean, ain't nobody business if I do. Well, and if I go to church on Sunday, go out on town, raise hell on Monday, well, it ain't nobody business if I do. Well, it ain't nobody's business, baby, how in the world I found my gravy. Well, it ain't nobody's business, kid, how in the world I do my business with. Well, now what you want to do is mess with me for, baby, let me drink a little wine, a little. I said ain't nobody's business if I do. Well, it ain't nobody business, baby, how in the world I found my gravy. Well, it ain't nobody business, kid, how in the world I do my business with. Well, now what you want to just mess with me for, baby, let me drink a little wine, a little bit. Oh yeah, ain't nobody business, baby, ain't nobody dirty business, ain't nobody business, baby, ain't nobody's
Offshore, out in the Sound, your island getaway awaits. With so much to do and see, a Block Island getaway is now closer than ever. Where an island escape is yours at GoBlockIsland.com.
So literally, we're changing deeds. You're using your house at an agreed upon number towards a down payment for the purchase here. It couldn't be much easier, really.
Come to Cloder Farms.
We believe in the art of handcrafted furniture. Workbench built in the USA to your specifications. The Cloder Farms Keystone Collection. Furniture handmade just for you. And see what we're building for you.
Thanks for joining us on Live Lunch Break here at theday.com. My name is Rick Coster, and I am here with Dan Stevens and Blunt White today. We are having what we used to refer to in Texas as a large time. You guys having a large time?
We're having really a lot of fun.
This is a treat. Dan's latest album, The Dirt Floor Sessions, the cover of which I am displaying for your edification. Really good stuff. A mix of your own material and, of course, some of the masters of the form. I love the idea that you do continue to write and move blues into this century. Do you ever wonder, I was talking to Cyril Neville of the Neville Brothers once, and this is sort of related, and this was earlier at the dawn of hip-hop, and I asked him if he thought hip-hop was the next step in the rhythm and blues generation, or it was going to kill rhythm and blues. Which was it? And it was sort of a ridiculous question in retrospect, because everything changes and evolves, but you play over 200 dates a year, you successfully integrate your own material into the form. Blues is healthy, right?
Oh yeah. There's some great young players coming up now that are awesome, and people are writing stuff, and it's changing a little bit. You know, the subject matter has to evolve too, right. I guess. So it's a little bit different these days, but yeah, I think things are going well.
Yeah, you're doing very well. Do you find? I was sort of surprised when we moved up here that there really is a very healthy blues and roots scene, which I think. It was my prejudice coming from the South that maybe that wouldn't be the case, but it's all around.
Yeah, there's quite a bit, and even other states in New England that I go to frequently, it's even really more. You know, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. Right. It's more of a backwoodsy kind of culture anyway, I think, up there. But they really appreciate that style of music a lot.
Now, when you were talking earlier about your slide. And then you said you could only get it at Sears, right?
Absolutely, from my research anyway, so far.
I started thinking about that because I believe it was Johnny Winter whose slide for years was a Coors Eden bottle.
Oh,
remember Coors
yeah.
Eden?
Oh, sure, yeah.
What was
yeah, they're
Coors
great.
Eden? Was it a
cold pill?
Cold pill. Well, I guess he found out they were going out of business. Yeah. So he bought like 900 cases of Coors Eden. Well, today that would have rang an alarm bell, like he's starting a meth lab or something.
Had to sign in.
But I was going to say, if Sears is the only place you can get those, you better stock up, man.
I know. Come to think of it, we're going there after the show. There's one over here in the mall. Don't tell the other blues guys I'm getting my stuff at the mall. Okay?
All right.
I got to tell you quickly that there was a choice between 3/4
right.
or like 10 millimeters or whatever it is, and I thought to myself, I better not go with the millimeters for blue.
Exactly. And if you're losing weight, you got to cover your bet that way too. Right. All right, we're going to hear some more then from Dan Stevens and Blunt White.
Thanks, Rick. Well, this is an original song. A lot of my originals are about being on the road, traveling a lot, etc. And this song was actually featured on Car Talk. We played this song one time. It's a little thing called Driving Fool.
making my way. Well, seemed like all I ever get done is moving down that long highway. I'm a driving fool, baby, I'm driving fool. I'm a driving fool. I'm spending my life behind this wheel, hauling around this hunk of steel. Free as the wind, that's all I know. We're blown around from coast to coast. I'm a driving fool. I'm a driving fool. Baby, I'm a driving fool. I'm a driving fool. Well, I get weary, but I never get tired of life. I'm living on this highway. You know I'll never be satisfied till I see a little more of that countryside. I'm headed down the back road. Well, the rhythm of the road is in my blood. I'm on the loose, out on the run. Well, making these wheels go round and round. Well, every night in a different town. I'm a driving fool. I'm a driving fool. Baby, I'm driving fool. I'm a driving fool. I'm a driving fool. I'm a driving.
It's pretty clear that we had something to offer that other listings, other agents' listings did not have to offer. We offered them the opportunity to sell their home, get their home sold in a very slow, tough market.
Come to Cloder Farms. Lose yourself in the possibilities for your home, yard, heart, and soul. Come to Cloder Farms and see what we're building for you.
Offshore, out in the Sound, your island getaway awaits. Yes, Block Island beckons. With so much to do and see, a Block Island getaway is now closer than ever. Ride the high-speed Block Island Express from New London on one of 4 daily departures, where an island escape is yours at GoBlockIsland.com. That's GoBlockIsland.com.
We're streaming from theday.com. My name is Rick Coster, and today we have been joined by Ramblin' Dan Stevens and Blunt White. And this has just been really cool because there's just so much affection for the music that just comes through while you guys are playing. And I wanted to ask you, I did not plan on asking this, but it occurred to me. Anybody that likes music for any reason, good for them. I don't care what kind of music it is. If you like it, you like it. You can't fake it, and I'm glad you like it. But at a certain level, if you're really, really into it, then it sort of takes on a more obsessive tone. And what I wanted to ask you, because you have studied this form so extensively, you have traveled so extensively, I myself, I've been to Jimi Hendrix's grave, I've been to Professor Longhair's grave, I've been to Louis Armstrong's grave. When you're in the South, did you ever go, I'm going to Robert Johnson's grave or Blind Lemon Jefferson, or what sort of?
We're off the track.
We are.
I went to the grave of Elvis Presley. Come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sainted Elvis.
Graceland.
Graceland.
Man, what a great trip to
Yeah.
Memphis, and been there a few times, played a little bit, and hit the Sun Studios, you know, Graceland. I have never been to the actual Delta to see, as you're saying, but it's a pilgrimage I need to take very soon.
Just don't do it in the summer. I'm begging you, unless your air conditioning works. So, now, in spite of the fact that you haven't been down there, as we referenced earlier, you work a lot, over 200 dates a year. You've got a nice catalog of CDs. What's coming up, and where can people find out more about where to get your merch or see you play?
Great, thank you. Well, my website is danstevens.net. I don't know if, well, it's below here, you can't see it.
Naturally, I'm in the way.
danstevens.net, and my schedule is there. Anybody can go there. You can sign up for my mailing list if you want. But locally, let's see, I play at the Steak Loft. That's a wonderful venue for us, and I can bring a couple of the guys, so we usually have a trio, and it's really wonderful there. I play at the Daniel Packer Inn, sometimes on Mondays, and it's actually this in February, it's the 16th. It's a Saturday this time.
Right.
And I often have players like Blunt or other great players from the area come by. And I'm at Perks and Corks in Westerly often. And that's also a real fun venue.
That's where I thought you were playing tonight. I don't know why.
No, not tonight, so. But we're around, and you can find out more on the website if you...
And folks, order these records. They're really good. I say records, it's so old-fashioned.
I do too. I still say albums and records.
Yeah, that's sort of what it is, the Dirt Floor Sessions. It's really good. Thank you so much to Blunt White, fabulous, empathetic harmonica, and of course, Ramblin' Dan Stevens. So you guys want to do one more for us?
Sure, that'd be great.
Thanks again for being here.
Thanks. Well, we're going to try another one on this old homemade cigar box guitar. Shout out to Jason May. This is an old song that is one that Mississippi Fred McDowell used to play. He was one of the old Mississippi hill country players. The hill country is in northern Mississippi up near Memphis, and there was a bit of a different style that developed up that way. It's more rhythmic and a little bit more hypnotic, if you will. But I got to see Mississippi Fred play a few times before he, when he was still living, and I always loved his music. Here's one that recorded on Dirt Floor Sessions. It's a gospel number, as many of the blues men used to play gospel songs too. But this is a great old song he used to play called "When I Lay My Burden Down."
I won't say I'm astonished. I can stand up, cool. I won't say I'm astonished because I know these guys very fine work, but man, that was great. Ramblin' Dan Stevens, Blunt White, thank you guys so much for being with us on Live Lunch Break. I'm Rick Koster at theday.com. Next week we've got Fred Molesky, and Godspeed, dudes. This was awesome.
Thank you.